Good morning. This is a reflection on lesson 246 in A Course in Miracles, and it says, to love my Father is to love his Son. Father and his Son are capitalized. So it's to love my Father. So to love God is to love humanity. To love God is to love each and every human. And I love this one so much because when I really stopped and thought about it, I see that hypocrisy all the time in our culture, like social media, that's like, praise Jesus, God this, God that, and then turn around and say the most awful things about other people in the world. Of like, usually it's about what's going on in the world today or the other side. And I'm like, I love this lesson for pointing out that you can't say you love God and then have, it says, let me not think that I can find the way to God if I have hatred in my heart. Isn't that true? Let me not try to hurt other humans and think that I can know that person's God or my own true self, is what it's saying. I love it. It's so simple. It just points it out. Let me not fail to recognize myself and still believe that my awareness can contain God, or my mind conceive of all the love God has for me and all the love which I return to God. So it's saying you also can't just proclaim you love God, la, 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 and not take a look inside and not try to know ourselves deeply. So it's almost like sometimes it's an avoidance thing, isn't it? To just focus on God, spirituality. It's the whole bypassing thing too, right? Without willing to get your feet dirty or your hands dirty in your own self-work so that you can come into a place of love for yourself, for other humans, and not just, okay, well, it's just God. I'm just going to leave it all to God. I hate everybody else, hate myself, but I love God, so it's going to save me. So I really liked this lesson a lot because it also, like, to come into love yourself, like speaking from my own journey, when I've done some of my own inner work to try to like build up, like break down whatever was getting in the way of my self-worth and self-love. And it's still a daily journey. It still peeps in from time to time, and I'm like, where'd that self-deprecating thought come from? So there's still work to be done. But over my journey, when I do that work, I immediately am able to open my heart more outward as well. It's like I have to love myself first in order to grow that love for everybody else. Whereas superficially, it used to seem like I really put others first because I was wounded and didn't think as much of myself, but really it was false. It wasn't a true love, a true unconditional love for all other people. And I feel like, oh, finally I have that. And of course, there's still times where it's like, really? What are you doing? What are you saying? Like judgment thoughts. But there's still like the compassion for all of humanity. I'm so grateful for that feeling. And then I can grow that love beyond. So it felt like it had to start internally first, or else it was just superficial and just like false, right? I'm just talking the talk, but not walking the walk. So I love that this kind of calls that out. Like, you can't think that you can find your way to God, really, and still have hatred in your heart for yourself, for other people. Hatred being a strong word, but that's what it is, right? It's lack of love. It's fear and hate and all that icky stuff that we've got to heal, let go of, in order to come into a place of love for self and then grow it out for others. So that's what this lesson meant for me. I also had a thought today that was like, oh my God, it's like this year's gone fast but long. I can't figure it out, and it's already in September and there's still over 3 months of lessons left. And I was like, how do they have this much content? I'm committed, but part of me was like, oh, remember you do this, you start having these "are we there yet" thoughts 3/4 of the way through anything I do. And I laugh at myself because anytime I start to check out of a movie that we're watching, I look and like, hey, show me how much time is left. I'm always at the 3/4 mark, always. I'm like, yeah, I knew it. So I feel, and I wonder what that is. It's like you're invested to a point, and then you're like, yeah, I feel like it's a predictable ending. Like there's no more surprises, and it's kind of that they just throw a lot of action in 3/4 of the way through a movie just to like twists and turns and just like action for action's sake, when it's like, it's not an interesting plot line anymore. Like they've gotten all of that built up and behind us, and then it's like, action, we need to fill up some space. And then what do they call it, the denouement, the climax, and then the resolution. So it's like, but all that stuff in between plot and the climax, I'm like, it's boring, it's predictable, it's just fluff. And I felt like, is this gonna happen with this book? I don't know, because some of them feel very related, like similar theme, but I'm still finding little nuggets that I'm like, okay, that hits different. Like I really enjoyed it. So I'm not giving up. I'm committed. And I'll save my judgments. Just knowing myself, this whole 3/4 of the way through anything, I get a little like, what's next? I'm a starter, not a finisher. That's why I'm doing this, so I can finish something in my life. All right.